Hi, Grace. Hello. How are you? How are you? Hi, Grace. Good to see you. You're dancing. What's the mood? How come you're so happy? What's happening? Share. You're so happy. You seem so happy. Yeah. Hi, Sim. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. I can see you're very happy, and I'm glad that you're very happy this Monday afternoon for me, morning for you guys. Hi, Mia. How are you? Some energy. Huh? Really? I miss you too, guys. Good to see you. Very motivated. Hello, Pure Joy. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm so happy to see you in this awakening. Hello, Kezi. How are you? I hope you got the title. Good to see you guys. Please and I'm glad that you have good energies this afternoon. Mia is in class. Okay, so for those who are new, this is Build Beyond You. My name is Jacinta, and this channel is dedicated to those who are rediscovering their identities, nurturing their innate abilities, and overcoming all those obstacles and hindrances that hinder you from stepping into your true leadership authority with the intention for you to step into your true leadership authority and ensure that there is continuity, preservation, you guard what you have discovered or rediscovered, and then how do you pass it on to the next generation, to the next person who's supposed to take after you, because it's about stewardship. So we come from rediscovering our identities to stewardship and then passing it on. So if you are a leader, a visionary, a steward, and you've experienced anything to do with emptiness, dissatisfied, burnt out, and you've gotten to a point where you either had it all and it didn't even make sense anymore. Like there's an emptiness in you, and everything externally cannot even satisfy the internal you, the you, like you're feeling extremely empty. Or if you are young and you're navigating a pathway of identity alignment, yeah, and you want to ensure that you move in that which you are called to be, you want to find out what your purpose is. This is an environment, an atmosphere that helps you or guides you or keeps you in with the like-minded people who are in the journey of rediscovering who they are, getting to know what is that is in me, that differentiates me from everybody else, and how can I nurture that, how can I preserve the original version of myself. So it's about identity alignment. It's about building systems and structures around every area of your life, whether the physical aspect of your life, your relationships, emotional, so that you can lead without emotional instability. Okay. So good to see you. Mia, Kezi, Grace, you're all very welcome. Sim, Pure Joy, good to see you guys. I hope Hajara and Brenda and Juliet can also join in as quickly as possible. Kezi, you could do the needful. Guys, you can like the live so that other people can also enjoy. Okay, so lesson 4, the awakening. I'm not even going to make reference to last week because we really exhausted ourselves and we did lots of you know we had so many interactions. It was very participatory, and that's how I want us to move forward. I want it to be very participatory so that at the end of each and every lesson, I want you to see the outcome, okay? So that you can see the transformation live every single day. You don't transform life, but the reflection that you carry out can carry you to the next day, to the next day, and even as you go on in your daily life you apply. And I hope, guys, are you, maybe let me first ask you a question. I gave you an assignment over the weekend. Have you applied? First answer that, then we can start the awakening session. Have you applied everything that we have been talking about last week in the empty series, vessel series? vessel series have you applied? Uh-huh. Start with you, Grace. Did you apply? Sim, did you apply? Do you even remember what you were supposed to apply? He's asking you if you applied. Do you remember what you were supposed to do? Because I told you, identify one thing that you can intentionally offer to God in this season. Your time, your consistency, your discipline, your faith, thank you, your honesty, healing journey, or your willingness to change. What if what you currently see as small is actually the very thing God wants to multiply? So, my question is, did you apply? Yes, but there's still some oil left. Good, Mia. Thank you. Grace, see. Any updates from you guys? There's still some oil left. We're still going on. That's good. I'm glad that you started applying. You were consistent, obedient, and you were still okay. You're still going on with the same. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay, so as we continue, I'm going to focus on only one statement in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1. Thy servant, my husband, is dead in this class. The awakening when your old identity can no longer sustain the future you. Okay? As we continue exploring the empty vessel, you who is emptying yourself of everything that does not serve the future, who you're becoming, your transformation process. As you lay down, because I said write a list of things that you need to surrender completely, and then you can go ahead with the transformation process. Let God do the work of, He picks one item, He takes you through different experiences, and at the end of it, you realize that, oh, these experiences that I was actually going through were actually dealing with this thing on the list that I wrote, even things that I did not know that are being revealed to me. So we don't look at those problems. Yes, we had anger issues, fear, and everything. We put them on a list and we put them aside. Now we focus on the instructions. What are we being told to do? What do I do today? Where am I going? Who am I supposed to see? That is what we are focusing on. We're focusing on consistency, we're focusing on discipline, we're focusing on obedience, we're focusing on the willingness to change. We're focusing on that. As we focus on this, the problems are being ticked without even us realizing, and then we get to know. So I think we are all in agreement this far in regards to that, okay? Because that's exactly what we really discussed last week. So this week, as we begin this week, the awakening is about when you find out what you entirely depended on is gone. It could be your old identity. It could be a job. It could be a business. It could be your husband has died in the case of the widow. What is it that you could have depended on? What do we mean by awakening? Awakening is when you realize that, okay, the job is gone. What do I do? Do you remain in that position of crying? I've lost the job. Do you remain in the position of, okay, there's a failure in the business, it's down completely? Do you remain in that position of wailing? Because what you could see as dead could be an awakening on your side. When we say awakening, there's always something dormant in you that is crying out. But sometimes God will orchestrate or will allow circumstances to actually come in play in your life, just so that He can reawaken something that's dormant in you. Because if there's no discomfort, the solution that is in you may never be appear. So when she said, thy servant, my husband, is dead, meaning this woman entirely depended on her husband. All she did was be a wife. It's obvious that she was a wife. She's taking care of her two sons, taking care of her husband, taking care of the home, making sure everything moves the way it's supposed to be as a mother, as a wife, as a companion, And that was it. And sometimes that's exactly what happens to us when we are in the comfort zone. Our identity, everything, our structures, our systems are entirely dependent on this particular job, this particular business, this particular environment. Now, when it gets disrupted, for example, you remember COVID, when a recession happens, what happens? You can't hear me? Please tell me you can hear me, guys. Is she the only one? Maybe you need to go off and go back on. Can the rest confirm you can hear me? Kezzy, can you hear me? Okay. Mia, go off and go back on. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think she just needs to go off and go back on. Then she'll hear me. Okay, so like I said, now the let's go back to the widow. She entirely depended on the identity, the structure, and the system, which was her husband, and it no longer existed. It was dead. He was her covering, he was her provider, he was her point of reference. Everything was him. Now, when that support is removed, and I want you to put yourself in a situation where whatever it is in your life that you have currently been depending on, have you ever imagined if it is not there? Because if you do not put yourself in those kind of, in that kind of mindset, if this is not there, what happens to me? She was forced to confront a reality that she had never prepared for. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mia. She was forced. She was forced to confront something that she had never prepared for. The absence of what covered her, who provided for her point of reference, the structure, the identity, the system. What if it's not there anymore? What do you do? I would rather you prepare now, internally, than when it's gone. Who was she without him? Without what she depended on? And you see, this happens a lot to many leaders, founders, visionaries, stewards. You find yourself experiencing the exact same disruption. You depended on that title, you depended on that job, you depended on that business, you depended on this income, one like this, you depended on this operating procedure in your life. What if it's removed? What if there's a disruption? What if that season ends and it ends abruptly? It doesn't announce that I'm coming, I'm ending. Maybe a relationship changes. Maybe a business model just collapses. Maybe a role shifts. And they say, you know what, things are changing. And no, it's okay, Hajara. Things are changing and all. We're going to take you to the other position. And the position is way lower than the position that you have been, the title you've been holding. What if your source of validation disappears? What happens? And suddenly, what becomes of the version of you? Because you see, when changes like a title, maybe you are a CEO and now you don't even have it anymore. Because you remember you entirely, the version of yourself depended on that. And now it's not there. What happens to you? Mia, how are people from your village after you today? In the dream? That's fun. Hmm? What if that version of you that depended on that can no longer sustain where you're going? Because what happens is this disruption, When God wants you to now, okay, we need to go forward, He will remove what you have been leaning on like this. What will you do when you can no longer? Can you ever imagine that He wants to stretch you to now start thinking different? Could it be that it's a beginning of an awakening? Because it can feel like a loss. I don't know whether any of you has experienced these kind of disruptions, because God can allow disruption, He can allow pressure, He can allow separation, He can allow exhaustion, He can allow uncertainty. Because why? There's something dormant in you, dormant capacity. It cannot awaken when you are still depending on those, on that old identity, on this and that, whatever it is, you know what it is in your life that you are depending on. You're not ashamed of starting anymore, no matter the job. That's good grace. Now, there is the healing part. That is what we call healing. Because transformation is about healing. If you are not ashamed, that means you can decrease that He may increase. That's what happens. Sometimes when you surrender, like we did on Friday, you allow yourself, okay, let me decrease, that He may increase in my life, that He may lead the way, that He may show me where exactly I need to go, what I need to do. Who am I? Without the accolades, the titles, and everything. What I originally depended on. And you see, that's when the old identities begin to die. The old supports are withdrawn. The hidden capacity now forcefully emerges. That's what happens. And that's what happened to this woman. You see, last week we were discussing how she had oil. The little that she had, and Elisha told her, go and borrow vessels and lock yourself in with your sons and start filling those jars with oil. But what forced her? What forcefully brought about this capacity to emerge? The death of. So, what is it in your life that has died or that needs to die? Because you also have to prepare for that. What if this is taken away from me? Am I going to die? What if this job comes to an end? There's so many people who are losing jobs lately. A lot of things are happening in the world. But this is something we have to prepare for. And that's why we have to build capacity inwardly. If you do not get to know who you are and you entirely depend on what's outside, if you don't navigate that thing in you, you're going to get a shock of your lives. And that the death of her husband was like the death of her old identity, because it gave way for the emergence of the new her. She went inside, closed the door, and started building capacity, which is what you've been doing. The reason as why I'm talking about this lesson today, the awakening, is I want you to awaken to the new you. Guys, we've been putting in the work every single day, Monday to Friday. Yes, we can prepare enough. We can't say that we can prepare enough, but we have to start from where we are. What we do, the moment you are awakened, now, like now we awaken to this journey, where from the time you joined this channel, okay, from the time you started this journey together, you were awakened, okay. You start from there in preparation. Now, this, whatever you prepare, by the way, you are tested. Every time you try to do something, there is a test for it. When the test comes, when you fail, you have to do it again. That's why it's not like the transformation is like a lifestyle journey. It's not that you have prepared enough, but promotions come when you have at least met a certain level. Like there's work you have put in, and then you've left level one, now you've entered level two. Then you receive the promotion for this level two. Then you receive the promotion for level three. There are levels to building capacity. So when that old identity, whatever it is, the death of either it has not yet happened and it is yet to happen. If it is yet to happen, what are you doing about it right now before it shocks you? If it has happened, well and good. What do we do now? Because that's where we need to move on. Sometimes you can look for jobs, look, and God says, that door, even if you try to open it, I will not allow it to open because there's dormant capacity in you that I want you to activate. You're running for solutions that are out there when you are a solution, and there are so many destinies that are waiting for you to open that door so that they can enter, so he can shut that door of the jobs you're trying to look for, and you're like so frustrated and you say, God forgot me. He didn't forget you. He wants you to get too uncomfortable. And the more you disobey, the more he removes. The more you disobey, he removes the second comfort. You will disobey, you will sleep outside on the streets, then you will understand that he's not joking. And you will not die, by the way. You'll stay alive. But because you're being called Jonah and you're refusing, you're entering the ship you're not supposed to enter. And that's what came to the widow. It had to take her husband to die, and then she started building capacity. What if the job ends? I will go and start farming less chicken. I've done small research. Okay, there's no problem. But you need to also, you see now what you're doing is you're getting the idea from your head and you're saying, I will go. You already have a plan B. You see, you'll go and buy those chicken and they'll all die in one day if that is not what God wants you to do. And you say, now the money I wasted on the chicken. Meanwhile, you can't replace it. Best you focus on what am I being called to. There's a reason as to why you come here every single day, because you have an unction and it's boiling inside you. It wants to come out. So even if you go and buy the chicken, they'll die because your pathway is different. It's not chicken. You see, we do not realize how dependent we are on external structures until those structures are removed. And we like building our identities around titles, around relationships, around businesses, around a financial stability, plan B, approvals, comfort, routine, and external validation. Question is, what happens when those things are taken away from you? What happens when they are no longer available? Like the woman, husband, thy servant is, my husband is dead. And what did that statement reveal? It revealed her dependency on the husband, your dependency on the job. It revealed her vulnerability, a lack of this, the weakness. It revealed fear, but then it also revealed she was transitioning from all these dependency weaknesses, yeah, within her, and the fear, and she was entering into a new season. And you see the question you ask Grace, can you prepare enough? Was she prepared? No. Was she transitioning to a new season? Yes. God will always provide for that particular season, even of preparation. When she went to the neighbors, did she ask for vessels? Yes. Did she get them? Yes. He provided her what she needed at that particular time. Now, when that season comes to an end, the bottles are filled up, the oil will stop flowing. If you finish that whole section of her of, of the story, when they were filled, they stopped flowing. The oil stopped flowing, meaning season is over. Get out. And that was when he told her, now go and sell. And it's going to last you a lifetime. Go, lifetime, sorry. Go and pay your debts. Go and sell. And it will last you a lifetime. Because there's also that season has to come to an end. Because you might as well want to be in the same, you don't want to get out. You're scared of getting out, but it has come to an end. It's time to go. Now that you need to ask the right questions. What do I need to go? Without the dependence, the vulnerability, the fear. Because usually what blocks us from going is not because of uh, people from the village who are chasing me. You said people from the village are just, it may not be that. Fear, and it's manifesting in your dreams. But you're being transitioned to the new season. And you see, it's going to reveal a possibility if you allow that death of the husband sustained the old her. But when she locked herself up in the room and started feeling the jazz, they feel that. So you see, there was a season when her husband was alive. He died, it ended. There was a season in a locked room. The oil was filled, the jars were filled. She had to get out. Now she has to get. You see, Grace, the question you've been asking, can you prepare enough? Each and every season, there is provision for you to prepare as you do. Prepare as you do. So the thing is for you not to just do, but it's for you to prepare and do. Because what you did when you had the husband, that is the widow, she was dormant, right? There was no preparation, there was nothing. So the husband dies. She enters into the locked room season. When she enters into the locked room season, she was being prepared while she did, being prepared, but she did not know what she was preparing for. Now she was preparing for the next. Then she went out of there, she went into the next. Now, the next, she had to use the previous season's receipts and all the transactions that were carried out here. Now, even as she uses these receipts and transactions carried out here, there's new oil that is being manufactured here in this level, which is going to also be used in levels 3. That's the mindset I want you to have. That in each and every season that you are in, it's preparing you for the next, but it's also a journey. You need to enjoy it. You need to face the challenges that are there. You need to overcome for you to get to the next level, but you also need to keep the memories. Don't just, I can't wait to get, like, don't strive so hard to get to the next level. No. Make sure you enjoy this season because those are your memories. These are your stories. These are your books. These are your income generating activities. That when you get to this level, well, I think this one I can do something with that. Okay, fine, no problem. Then you see, you can even make reference to it and it will just come easily. Because remember, you did it and did it and did it and did it. Now, here you can implement whatever it is there that you did not implement, but you realize so many people need it. Does it make sense? And that's how you prepare and do, prepare and do, prepare and do. Don't just prepare and sit, prepare and sit. No, you have to prepare and do. You have to now go. But if you've not yet reached that level of going, you have to continue first being in the locked room and prepare, prepare, prepare. And when it is time to go, the door will just open. You won't even need to announce. No one will. You just know that the oil is full, the covers are sealed. I need to get out and now distribute it. Pay the dates, da, da, da. Meaning everything I've tried and failed, it was not my pathway. No, Mia, it was. Those things where you failed, those mistakes, yeah, they are that's where we pick the lessons from. That's where we pick the lessons from. If she did not do anything about her life when her husband was alive, that was a lesson she took to her next level. And that's a lesson she'll take for the rest of her life. Because she's able to tell the story. She says, I entirely depended on my husband. But now my husband dies. What did I do now? She's telling a story. It's coming from somewhere. You see now, Mia, you need those failures. You do need them. Today is scaring you. You shouldn't be scared. You should be encouraged. I told you, as we go on, the lessons become real, like alive. Because now you can't run. You at a point of no return, you enter this transformation phase and you cannot, you have to go forward, because if you go back, no man puts a plow to the ground, you can finish for yourself. Uh-huh. Could the empty jars mean asking help from people that are more equipped? Yes, Grace, exactly. Hello, Brenda, how are you? Exactly. Because you're not alone in this journey. There are people who are in line with what your calling is all about. You will be led to them. So you have been maybe led to YouTube, and there are different apostles that God is going to lead you to, or teachers, that God is going to lead you to, or different, I don't know, whoever God leads you to, or different books, or different places and experiences, even your places or something, different experiences. Now, it's up to you to use whatever information that you can get. That's what they mean by buy from those ones who are selling more equipped. Like now, in this part that we're talking about, I am more equipped. Okay, because I have been there and I have gone through it and I have experienced it and I have overcome the obstacles and I have birthed solutions. So those are the people that the ones that you're led to go to learn from, because you cannot do this on your own. That's why I said in this process, you cannot do without relationships. And I don't mean relationships personal, like hi, hello, no. Now you come in here, you sit in class, we study, we are moving forward like that. Because there's a time when you have to sit in class and the next, but not, you don't consume everything, because remember you also have to apply. So you have to find time for consumption and time for application. Okay? But this is a time, if you're in the locked room, consumption is more, because you must be knowledgeable, you must understand, and you must apply. Thank you, Grace. Okay? So, as we go on, yeah, this disruption that happens before growth happens, or an awakening comes to you of like, hey, wait a minute, husband has died, I have two kids, they're going to be taken away. What is happening? Systems are shaking. What am I supposed to do? You know, we can be kicked out of the house. Kids, what are we going to do? Systems are shaken that even the kids have to participate. Are you seeing train up a child in the way he should go? Now they have to participate. Maybe before they were just relaxed on iPads and what, putting up the legs. Hey, we are going to work. Because the reawakening is not only for the widow, it's also for the two sons. So the systems of even them who were, those who are dormant in the house, have to now move. Comfort zones have collapsed. If there are things they were not doing, now they have to do. The routines have changed. The certainty has disappeared, because daddy every end of month came with a check. Every end of month came with a check. Now there's no check. What do we do? We should be glad if bad things happen to us. It's actually building our future selves. Exactly. Exactly. So why is there a disruption always before an awakening, because dormant capacity rarely awakens in comfort. When the husband was there, Chick was like, oh, just watch TV. I'm just giving an example. Let me just enjoy myself. Go to the spa. She would. Reality came when he was gone. He was gone. Now you have to wake up, get up and move. Whatever needs to be done, do. Because they are taking the sons. And this this thing of praying for purpose, while you resist the disruption required to reveal it, doesn't work that way. I always give my story. I never knew that I would sit in front of a laptop or a camera and speak. That first day that I went for that session, the whole day wasted of time from 8 in the morning to 6. Here we are conversing and everything. And it's like, I wish I can put the camera when we are conversing so that you see yourself. That when he says that, okay, now start, the thing's just like erased. I couldn't speak. Now I'm trying to show you what it means when it comes to application. It's easier said, like, no, why doesn't she do? And especially those who keep criticizing other people's work and everything, criticizing leaders. Go and sit in that position just for a day. And let's see your performance. Uh-huh. Thank you for acknowledging. So if you're there praying for praying, you're wasting time. You must act. Casey here told us when we were still on TikTok, she said, I am going to be very consistent. She even got a watchdog. Sorry for calling you that. Maybe I should call an accountability partner. Which Casey, did you post? Because she had said she's going to do it on Monday. From then on my phone, I keep seeing Casey has posted. Casey has posted. She committed and she applied. That is what we're talking about. Let's not come to this class, sit, pick information, and go and sleep. That's why now I involve you in exercises, very serious ones, and it's very participatory. I will force you to speak here, and you will have to tell me what is your. Then it will force you to start doing the homework, and it will help you. I'm sure all of you can say that it has helped you. Mia, you're not gonna cry for that man with a big forehead again. He was shaping up. Stop abusing people. Forgive and let go. Okay? Grace. I miss this knowledge where? Oh, I'm not going anywhere. We are here. We are still together. Okay, but I don't want you to get knowledge. I want you to get knowledge, get understanding, and apply. Come here and show me the transformation that is happening. Now I ask you a question. I left you with an assignment on Friday. Where are the answers? Remember the day I was told to pray? While I was in Zoom meeting, I got lost. Juliet, you see, you lost words when you were put in the spot. Juliet, pray. The words disappeared. When I tell you here, what have you done? This is helping you. Because you ask me, Mia, what have you been doing? Good. Gerard, that's how I got distracted from making my content. What happened? Why did you get distracted from making your content? When you know it very well, you are told to make content. Casey here is making content seriously. Every single day, I think now. Like if you had not acted, okay, I understand. Okay. Today, you're leading fellowship. We'll share the experience tomorrow. Good. That is good. Please share tomorrow. Please, then you'll be the first one to share tomorrow. Then we'll share what we've learned. Okay? So now that we have understood that part, are we a bit clear on what I mean when I say that capacity needs to be awakened in a very like in a very uncomfortable environment, like the woman? Why am I making reference to that woman? A leader who cannot survive identity disruption. Hear me very well. A leader who cannot survive identity disruption will struggle to sustain long-term transformation. If you want to be a leader who evolves from one level to the next, to the next, to the next, let me give you an example. I was listening to a video this weekend, and I was hearing about Dangote, a rich man in Africa. He's indeed the richest man in Africa. I think so. So I was listening to how Benson Idahosa called him, young man, come. And then he blessed him, and then he prophesied on him how he was going to be a rich man and everything. Now, the difference between what your eyes have seen or your ears have heard, this man took the prophecy that was given to him and started doing the work. Who is the richest man in Africa? Dangote. And the difference between another one who will receive what is said about them. So they said, I'm going to be the richest person. Then wait and see what's going to happen. Then you wait for what? For cows to come home? How do we know what happened after he was told that? Do you know there could have been a disruption in his life that disorganized everything because they've said this? And what the current situation has to be disorganized, and then the pressure has to, because the prophecy has come out. So how did he handle the pressure is the question. The results, the end justifies the means. What Benson Idahosa said is what we are seeing with Dangote right now. When he received the word, he did not sit. When disruption came, he did not take off. He locked himself in the room and started pouring the oil. Borrowed vessels and started. That is why many people collapse emotionally when positions change, recognition disappears, relationships shift, the income changes, environments transition, and they just collapse emotionally. And that's the end. That's the end. Because they built themselves around what was temporary instead of developing internal capacity. That is why it is important for you to develop internal capacity. As you develop, a prophecy comes out. As you develop, an opportunity shows up. As you develop, disruption comes, challenges come, you overcome. This is what is happening. Action, knowledge, understanding. Action, knowledge, understanding. Action, application. So that when the position changes, it finds you prepared. Not 100%, but in your mind. When the window opens like this, because it could open for only a few hours or a day or two. And if you do not take advantage of it when it opens, if it does not find you in alignment, alignment is what enables you to partake of something that you probably could miss. When you are aligned, when the window opens, you see it for what it is and you say, wow. But when you do not enter that window, When it has opened, it will close, and you never know, you may have to wait another 3 months, 6 months, or 7 years. That's why we build capacity internally and align, so that whatever door you may meet somebody for just 2 seconds, just the encounters that I have every single day. You can meet someone for just 2 seconds only to realize, huh, so now I learned how to pay attention to every encounter, because you can miss it. Oh my God. I learned to listen to every word. I learned to, and that's what I need you to do when I talk about encounters. What are they uncovering? What do you choose to do? It could be an encounter to align, it could be an encounter to heal. So if you do not follow the transformation process that I gave you in the journey series, this empty vessel series is not going to help you. The empty vessel series is like the execution part of the journey series. Because every lesson that I come here and talk about, I can make reference to all the 11 lessons that we had. Every word I speak reflects back on the 11 lessons. So if you did not carry out the exercises, or if you are not carrying out the exercises currently on the platforms where you are, and you're waiting for that opportune time, you're wasting time with wherever you are. Pay attention to your encounters. Note what they are uncovering. What are they telling you to do? To align or heal? Choose to move forward differently from that particular point. Journal these things. You are in a transformation journey. Now you need to pay attention to all those 11 steps that I gave you. And that's why we had a Q&A. So that you don't build yourself around what is temporary. When shaking comes, what happens? Are you ready? When COVID comes, are you ready? When a recession comes, are you ready? Because it starts from within. You see, this transformation that I'm talking about, it requires you to become stable internally, even when external structures change. And it has to start with you. The moment you start conquering all those fears, vulnerabilities that we talked about that are within you, the moment you start overcoming most of them, that is when you are now sent out for the mission. Because now you can handle another person that is not yourself. Now remember, when you're beginning to handle another person, you find yourself projecting all these vulnerabilities on the people. You also now have to learn how to overcome that. Now, when you overcome that, now you've started stewarding the assignment, the responsibilities. Now all these are phases, but you see, you need people, you need a platform, you need an environment. You cannot do this in isolation. Your routine is overwhelming you. Hajara, please resume to English, but it's important that you do. If that's what you, if you may resume to English and it doesn't work, maybe you need to put subtitles. Yeah, actually, you can stay in your what you're comfortable with and put subtitles. I think that's what Casey wants to communicate. Yes, put subtitles in English and stay in your original because you may be flowing well in your original. Don't change when you're not very comfortable or when you're not, you know, you don't want that. So choose the subtitles. Okay, so guys, are we ready? Because now I'm going to the reflection section and I want us to reflect. And I'm not going to give you examples this time. Okay, I'll just give you 3 examples for the 5 questions I'm going to ask you. Okay? So, 1, What is that external structure or role? Because now I want you to grow. I've been trying to give you a question, then I give you so many examples to break it down for you. But now I want you to pay attention. Okay? I don't want to always spoon feed you. As we go on forward, I reduce on the information that I give you because I want to also think. Think. Remember, you're creating your own roadmaps. So I can't keep feeding. I want you to also stretch your core. Okay? So, question one: what is that external structure or that role or that relationship or identity that you have depended on the most? I repeat, what is that external structure or role or relationship or identity that you have depended on the most? What is that external structure? What is that role? What is that relationship? What is that identity that you have depended on the most? One person give me an answer, I go to question two. Here's the question. You got it? Anybody has a structure that they have depended on? An identity? A relationship? One of you give me an answer. Grace, give us an answer. Your name comes easy to my mouth, so you'll suffer a bit in these classes. One of you give me an answer. What is that external structure or any role or any relationship or any identity that has found you becoming dependent? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mia. No one is right. Uh-huh. Juliet, being too dependent on what? On what? I want to know on what? On a role? Any external structure, guys. You don't have to think so much. I'm not going to give it. Okay, let me give you an example. Hmm? Now, for example, this is a founder, okay? You lose a major contract and you feel like everything is collapsing. Everything is collapsing. But through that disruption, you discover leadership abilities, innovation, resilience that you never knew you had because comfort had previously hidden all these abilities in you. So, what is the external structure that this founder depended on? On other people? You, okay, thank you, Juliet. Mia, you trust other people's opinion than your own. Hmm. Now it's time for you to understand what this means. Are you making mammon an idol? Because if you trust other people's opinion than your own, you remember when we talked about compromises? You can end up diluting the original version of the vision you are given because you're trusting other people's opinion more than your own. What did you hear? What instructions have you received? What roadmap? Which pathway? Where have your feet gone for you to trust other people who are not here when you are doing these steps? If you are not in your encounters, what they were uncovering, what you chose to do, and you even reconciled and integrated, and you did all this, and then I come and tell you, no. Where is the filter? This is what we're going to break. That dependency cycle. Because if you have been depending on a particular role, relationship, the widow depended on her husband. When her husband died and left her dead, her two children were almost taken. Had she also contributed, I'm sure he would not even be in that debt. But she was also like the children, depending on him. He's overwhelmed. He needs you to get out of the comfort zone and start doing something about it. You believe it, you cry, and you fight. Okay? Other people's opinions. I had depended on my baby daddy to build for me a house, but all that changed. I'm working on it. The family and Christian value. Okay? Another thing, people pleasing. God. Not those things, okay? Not those things are going to help you because you're going to break cycles, break. You're going to break this yourself. You have to come out of those dependency cycles. It's not good at all. It can keep you in bondage without you realizing it. So, what is that current disruption in your life that feels uncomfortable or uncertain? Now that you have identified that external structure, the role, the relationship, the identity that you've been depending on the most, what is that current disruption? Question two. Your job, okay? What is that current disruption in your life that feels uncomfortable or uncertain? Because in one of these areas, whether identity or relationship or role or structure, there is a disruption that is so uncomfortable. You have either been awakened to it that it's actually a disruption, and it's kind of like wanting something from you, demanding something from you. Okay, it could be in any area of your life, or you're going through it, but you didn't realize that it was actually demanding something from you. Let me repeat it again. What is that current disruption in your life that feels uncomfortable or uncertain? What current disruption in your life feels uncomfortable or uncertain? Oversleeping in the morning, yet I have to go for work. Is that a disruption? That is not a disruption. That is a bad habit. That is not a disruption. Unfortunately, Juliet, that is discipline. Set the alarm, get up, go to work. Period. That is not a disruption. The disruption I'm talking about is, let me wait for someone to give an example here. Focus more on unnecessary stuff. Okay. Is that your current disruption? Focusing more on unnecessary stuff? Yes. Now, is it uncomfortable? No. Mia? No. Juliet? No. Your current environment, you feel it's not even safe for you to post content. Good. Now she's getting it. It has to be very uncomfortable that you need to do something about it. That you have come to this class, now you're carrying out identity alignment, you are now developing your skills because you want to get out of that environment and get to another one. It's uncomfortable, you need to get out, but it's only you. It's going to take you to get out of that environment. Sometimes you need to first overcome this, that, and that. Now, you're going to have to overcome this, that, and that. Then you get out of that environment. Then you go to next. What happens in next? So it is a disruption that is uncomfortable, but it requires your attention, not you not setting alarm clocks. Just that's in discipline, not you being on social media. That is not, that's in discipline. Now I'm talking about a disruption that you also see, like she has given an example of an environment. I want, and this is helping you to, if you're understanding the topic that I'm talking about today. The phone, it's not a disruption. Your phone is in discipline on your part. That is not a disruption. Financial instability. Aha. Now, two people have given, I want answers like that. Financial instability, that is a disruption that is supposed to make you feel so uncomfortable. And it's going to get you thinking, it's going to get you being creative, it's going to get you out of your comfort zone, it's going to make you surrender all your comforts. You're lost, Mia, and who? Juliet, and Casey. What do I mean by disruption? You're going to take me back a bit. Let me give you an example. A founder of a business gets a major contract. They lose that major contract. They feel like everything is now collapsing because they've lost that major contract. But through that disruption, they discover they have leadership. Oh, okay, I can actually lead in this area. Let me be creative and do this. Okay, they now realize resilience they never knew they had. It has to be something that is pushing you, not a habit, a negative behavioral pattern. No, it's a disruption. You don't have control over it. You have control over the phone. Grace doesn't have control over her environment, but she can do this, that, and that, and get out of that environment. That is, Brenda, financial instability. She may not be able to do anything about it right now, but she needs to apply the steps to get out of financial instability. She has to think. She has to sit down and follow the instructions. What do I need to do? Show me. Then reading. Then she starts applying. Then she starts. Are you seeing? It's something that is out of your control, but it has come to push something within you. Are you now found near? What is distribution? The distribution of the oil? You mean the widow? When the oil was full, the bottles were full. That is the capacity that she has built. Now she had to get out and start selling. If there were books, she had to start selling and then get money, pay off her debts, and even start living. And then she got so many other income generating activities. That's the distribution part. I hope I'm answering the right question. Okay. Things you are tired of or limiting you. Thank you, Brenda. Mia, there's things you are tired of, but you don't have control over it, but you are in that environment, and God says, don't move from there until you overcome that. By the way, sometimes you have nothing to do until you overcome it, then a door will open. But a door refuses to open because it wants you to overcome this. You've understood, okay, Juliet? Paying fees for the kids, it requires me to work hard and get the money. Good. You found yourself in a position where you have to pay for the kids' fees. Now, those things of being comfortable, you have mouths to feed. Now you've understood. Who else here is not contributing? Sim, I don't see your answers. No more idol, whatever in this class. Sim, who else is here? The new person. Okay, maybe you just joined. I'll not pressure you. But this one, it has to be very participatory. Okay? So now that you've understood that particular question, could this disruption, question 3, could this disruption actually be awakening hidden capacity within you. The only thing that is limiting me is finances. Otherwise, I would go back in my country. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Casey. You think that you are limited in finances, but that door is not going to open. What are you going to use the finances for? Before the finances come, what can you do to provoke the finances to come? Because sometimes we say, I need capital. Sometimes it's not what we need. Ask the right questions. What do I need before you provide the finances? Ask God the right question. What, because this door has refused to open. Okay, fine, I've understood. Now tell me, what do I need to do here? What, where I am, please show me. Please open my eyes to see what I am not seeing. And then you will open your eyes and you realize, thank God the money did not come. Because if it had come, I would have used it for the wrong reasons. So ask the right questions. Okay? Mia, I can say financial instability, same as Brenda and Casey. Juliet, attending class at the same time I have to attend to customers. Aha. So you see, she has to attend to customers, but she also has to be in class. That's why you keep saying pardon. Now we understand. But you see now the classes, the lesson is recorded and it uploads immediately. So you can be in the class and then you can go back and repeat so that you can make sure that you're good before the next day. I hope that, because there you can pause, then you listen again, then you pause it like that, because now it's uploaded immediately. Okay, Juliet, we understand you very well. Uh-huh. Overthinking. Uh-huh. Thank you, Sim. Overthinking. That is yes, now that is a disruption. That is a disruption. If you find yourself overthinking, what is this overthinking pushing you to? Could it be that the overthinking is creating something that, how do I get out of this overthinking? What do I need? It's you find yourself overthinking because there's something that is making you overthink. Now you need to beat that overthinking with something. You need to create something. You need to now start writing down start being very practical. Write down your thoughts. In writing, seeing, you're going to find yourself creating, creating, creating. Could it be your overthinking wants you to get your hand and write? Could it be that what you're going to write, you might even create one chapter, gone, two chapters, gone? That overthinking, not everybody has that ability to overthink. Sometimes it's a high IQ and it wants you to get those thoughts on paper. Because I will speak to you more when you put them on paper. Get them and put them in the journal. You find yourself coming here and telling us, guys, I wrote a book. Not everybody overthinks. You should celebrate that. It can come like as if it's a challenge that you overthink and sometimes you even think about unnecessary things. Put them on the paper. Then you will filter when you're creating your chapter after. Before you know it, you have a book. Okay? Uh-huh. Middle East. Mia. When you say Middle East is draining us, you see, when you want a land to bless you, bless it. That draining you is building capacity. If it was draining you, why don't you go back to your more relaxed environment where your brains are going to become more dormant than they have ever been? The reason as to why you're here is because this is a fast paced environment. It gets you thinking. If you're not on your feet, if you're not thinking, you will be choked. So switch your mindset completely. Why do you think it's draining you? Because it's too fast. It's too fast for you. And it's for thinkers, investors. You look at the people who are there, overachievers. That's the reason as to why you came from wherever you were coming from and you came here, was because you wanted to do something. So now you've come here, don't even complain. Again, say, home was hot, but hot with what? Fill in the answers yourself. Now here is hot. Hot with what? Fill in the answers. You're going to see the difference between the other hot and this hot. And then you'll see if you will not change your mindset about that statement. You overcame overthinking through journaling. Brenda, thank you very much for sharing that. Casey and Mia, are they your two accountability partners? That one, that statement, erase it in your minds immediately. As hot as it is, as challenging as it is what births new babies. Can you birth babies in another environment like this one? This one where you just go and there are so many activities you can register any business. Your money. And you're going through financial instability. You're like, now where am I going to get the money? It stretches you. But another environment you be in, and everything is like this. Hmm? Hmm? No pressure, nothing. Things are just laissez-faire. What do you prefer? If you're a visionary, a steward, or a leader, you're going to prefer an environment that's going to stretch you, nag you, choke you until births something in you. Bless it. You'll see how it will bless you. Change your mindset and your language about it. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay? Mm-hmm. Your journal book is full in a space of 3 months and I'm no longer overthinking. Good. But I want you to use what you have been writing for something. Don't just write. Now you see your journal, 2 journals are full. Think. After this class, go and sit down and think. 2 journals are full. What am I not seeing? God, open my eyes to see what I can create from these 2 journals. Why are they full? What is that content? How can I multiply this content? 2 journals are full. After this class, write the word 2 journals are full. Underline. Now start asking. 2 journals are full. Come back tomorrow and tell me what has happened. Yeah, there's a reason as to why the 2 journals are full. There is a reason as to why 2 journals are full. There is a reason as to why 2 journals are full. How many times have I said it? Yes, Grace, thank you. You're putting a curse on the land and it will also curse you. Bless the land and it will bless you. Say, this land yields its wealth to me. This land yields its strength to me. I bless you. Oh, beautiful flowers, I bless you. Yes. It hears. Oh, earth. Haven't you seen that somewhere in the Bible? It hears. It hears. When you abuse it, say, oh, you will see. It's not speaking, but it's telling you, you will see. I will not give you anything. You abuse me, I'll not give you anything. Okay? You're trying to understand things logically or understand people the way they are. That is the disruption that you are actually awakening. Okay, question 3. Could this disruption actually be awakening hidden capacity within you? Brenda, are you answering that question? Could this disruption actually be awakening hidden capacity within you? You've said you're trying to understand things logically. Okay. Is that what is being awakened in you? Or you're trying to understand people the way they are? Okay, I guess that's what you're answering. It is awakening hidden capacity within you, understanding people the way they are. Okay, that's good. Or you're adding on overthinking, eh? Ah, now we are taking it to the other one. Oh, yeah, that's true. When you overthink, that's true. That's true. Hakezi, the money is view, one is in view, but the land must bear fruit. Our lives are not the same. That's true, but that's a whole topic for another day. Okay, let me repeat question three. Question three: could this disruption actually be awakening hidden capacity within you? That's question three. Could this disruption actually be awakening hidden capacity within you? What is that hidden capacity that the disruption? If you have identified any disruption, Grace, you've identified environment. What is that capacity, that is that hidden capacity that you didn't know you had, that you now realize you have in that environment? Another person gave, Brenda, what did you say? What disruption was it? Financial instability. Mhm. What capacity is it awakening within you? Mhm. What version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? What version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? What version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? Uh-huh. What version is it that is no longer sustainable for your next season? You're lost again. Okay. Let me ask the question again. Let me put it there. Question three, guys. Could that disruption be awakening hidden capacity within you? That is question three. And then question four, I said, what version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? But first, answer question three. What is the disruption awakening in you? Grace says, first of all, she said the disruption is the environment. She said that the okay, whatever the environment is, but the environment is a disruption for her. And now she's saying she didn't know she could be this patient and tolerant. It must be a tough environment, but she's also there for a reason. The widow lost her husband. She was entirely dependent on him for everything, and he disappeared. He died. Now she had to face paying debts, paying bills, paying everything. That was a disruption. And what did it awaken in her? That she had capacity within her, that she could actually pay all the debts and she could actually build businesses. So, first of all, you needed to identify the current disruption in question two. Okay? In your life that feels uncomfortable, then identify what is the hidden capacity that it's awakening in you. And then, okay, before I go to question four, anybody who want me, do you want to share the disruption that is uncomfortable and what the hidden capacity that that disruption is awakening in you? Brenda, you gave an answer. What is it awakening in you? What is that hidden capacity? Before I go to question four, think. Let me give you an example. If, for example, an executive leaves a very prestigious role, okay, and then suddenly he struggles with identity because their self worth was tied to the other title of executive leader. Now, the disruption of the executive title leader, the executive leader title is gone. That disruption is going to force them to discover who they are beyond performance and recognition. They were being recognized as executive leader, position gone. Who are they beyond that performance? Who are they beyond the recognition they were receiving when they were an executive leader? That's what I want you to identify. What is that current disruption in your life that is uncomfortable? What is it awakening that hidden capacity within you? Brenda is saying, I'm thinking big and limitless, saving more and going on investment plans. Good. You see, that financial instability is awakening investment plans. She's now drawing a plan, a plan, a plan. And after drawing the plan, more ideas are going to come. But it has to start from somewhere. She may not have the money today, but if she has the plan, then she starts breaking it down into tasks or activities. Then she's going to start finding opportunities, a door here, because she has not looked at the plan as it is so big. She is breaking it down to as small as first, the plan on paper. Second, what do I need to do now? What's the first task I need to perform? Okay, let me get to this environment where I need to go. What does it entail? Then you start writing, I need to buy a ticket, I need to buy it, I need to get accommodation. Okay, how much money do I have now? How much, how is it going to be? How long is it going to last? Okay, then she goes to the next task. Then what do I need to do? Okay, I need to register the business. Okay, then how much do I need? Okay, 100, like the plan and broken down to that is what she is doing about the discomfort of financial instability. Grace has also said the environment is the discomfort. What is she doing? She's realizing she didn't realize how tolerant and patient she was. But what is this patience and tolerance uncovering? Could it be connected to her purpose? Could her purpose require this patience and tolerance? That is how I want you to create your roadmap. Look at the disruption, write it down, that disruption in your life that feels very uncomfortable. And then go, what is it? Even if it's minute like this, what is it awakening in you? A hidden capacity, even if it's one. If you can answer those two questions, then I go to question 4. So far, Grace and Brenda. Juliet, my future is bright now. My thinking capacity has grown. My cycle has changed. Even customers are wondering how I changed my way of attending to them. Eh, Juliet, that is very good feedback about your transformation. Are you seeing, guys? When your mindset starts changing, practically, she remember she's in her business. She has customers on a daily. She comes to class. Sometimes she's telling us pardon, pardon, because she's attending to a customer. But now we came to YouTube, and now the lessons are uploaded immediately. She can go back and listen and follow up, and she is actually applying it practically. What was the disruption before? Before, Juliet was complaining about the way she was thinking, her relationships. I remember very well. You were talking about all those things. But now you're seeing an improvement in your relationships because your mindset has changed. The way you used to think or do things is totally different. And you are applying on the platform where you are. So there's identity alignment in play. You're building systems and structures around every area of your life. And at the same time, now you are leading in that sphere of leadership with emotional stability. You're no longer reacting, you're now responding. Because you come to class every day, you replenish, then you apply, then you knowledge, understanding, application. Okay? So the disruption, where what is uncomfortable, and the hidden capacity, it is awakening. Okay? Yes, Juliet Kongs, by the way. Kongs, Kongs, Kongs. Hamia, you're saying you're currently saving while looking for a business to do. Now, as you're looking for a business to do, go and write the word two journals. Underline it. Do you remember, Mia? Two journals. You see, most of the time, it is with you, but you're looking outwardly. You wrote two journals, two books. What is in that book? Go back and read. Because what you're looking for out there, the woman had to lock herself up in the room and start pouring the oil. Mia, don't go outside. Write two journals, underline, start doing the work. Come back to this class and give us a testimony like Juliet. Even my man is wondering why. Nowadays, I no longer complain about things we don't have. After Juliet, even the marriage is now getting better. Business is getting better, marriage is getting better. My man, I like the word. You used to do something and feel seen by everyone, feel big within me, used to have that feeling of greatness. But since you started awakening, you don't. Oh, guys, there's transformation that is happening. That is good. That is good to hear. That is good. This is what we are talking about. Identify, understand, apply the how to steps, even if it's small like this, and then keep updating. This is nice. This is nice. Everybody else, I want you to be encouraged, okay? I want you to be encouraged by the transformation that's happening on the platform. And I'm happy that it's helping, okay? I'm very happy. So let's go to question 4. Now we are satisfied with what we have so far. What version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? What version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? Have you identified the version of yourself that's no longer sustainable for the next season? For example, I've given you the executive leader who had this prestigious position, and now his identity was so tagged to executive leader, but now it's gone. His self-worth was tied to that. Everything in him was tied to the title. Now the title is gone. This disruption, what is it going to force out of him? He has to now face himself, his true self. He's going to have to look in the mirror and say, Akuba, I've been suffering with this thing. He has to go look beyond the performance of executive leader title, beyond the recognition he was getting while he was an executive leader. Okay? So the question is, what version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? Anybody wants to contribute to this one? People are wondering how I am no longer easy to be manipulated. Good. Because that version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season. You have learned not to be gullible. You have learned to draw the line. You have now set boundaries. You have a no. There are things you no longer do, there are things you do. You have taught people how to treat you. You respect yourself, you love yourself, and you value yourself. There are things that you're doing, I'm sure, that I'm mentioning. Okay? Kezi, you didn't give us the question. What version of yourself is no longer sustainable for your next season? So, another question. What strengths, gifts, or abilities have remained dormant because comfort kept them hidden? It may sound like a repetitive question, but it's not. What are those strengths? What are those gifts? What are those abilities that have remained dormant because comfort kept them hidden? You must have had a disruption. Are you seeing how they flow? You must have had a disruption for you to be able to answer this question, because those abilities have remained dormant because you're still comfortable. The disruption is in view. The environment is very uncomfortable. The financial instability is very uncomfortable. The husband died. Are you seeing the discomfort is there? But your strengths, your gifts, your abilities are still dormant. Your assumed comfort is hiding them. Because I've said what strengths, gifts, or abilities have remained dormant. You know it that you have an ability. Two journals underline. By the time, not everybody can write. By the time you've written all that, not everybody can overthink. You are very uncomfortable. You're looking for a business to do, but you overthink. You have two journals. Meanwhile, there's no capital required to write those two journals. There's no capital required to overthink. But it requires you to put it down, look at it closely, and you will see businesses there from within you. So, what are those strengths, gifts, or abilities that have remained dormant because comfort has kept them hidden? You don't value those two journals. You think they're just two journals. They are not two journals. Now, let me be the discomfort. Then you will look at them and come tomorrow. Hey. Don't mention them again. I'm here now. I'm doing something about it. You're pursuing your career in law school. You're about to buy a house. Very soon while investing in transportation and beauty school. Okay. Good. That is very good, Mia. That is very good. Thank you. Don't forget even those two journals. Even those two journals. Uh-huh. Grace, procrastination. Procrastination is a vulnerability, Grace. I want strengths, gifts, or abilities that have remained dormant. From procrastination could be comfort for you, but it's not. What is that procrastination eating in terms of strengths, gifts, and abilities? Let me put the question, Casey. Grace, you're saying encouraging people, listening to people. Now you see, you've started your roadmap. The moment you can identify a strength, a gift, an ability that is remaining dormant because of comfort, encouraging people is an ability. Listening to people, that's the reason that's why they keep calling you. They don't even want you to say anything. I want to talk to you, and then you're like, mm, mm, mm. That's all they need you to do. That's the reason that's why they call you all the time, Grace. Because you listen. Hmm. 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 That's all you're doing. Does it require capital? Overthinking takes peace. The only solution I did after listening to a podcast is to write all my thoughts down, then differentiate what I can control and what I can't control. Okay, but you have to use it to you have to use that overthinking, like you've said, that's a practical bit of doing it. After you've written down, don't leave it to the journals. Use it for something. So if Sim overthinks, let her turn it around for good. Just like Hajara has advised, write down and use it. Use what you've written down for a purpose. Okay? So I think we have exhausted the part of the reflection section. I don't want to delay so much. Yeah. But I'm going to give you an example of personal transformation from all the questions I have been giving you. If, for example, you have been experiencing emotional exhaustion, like betrayal or burnout, because that's the one area we've not talked about. You have experienced emotional exhaustion, you've experienced burnout, you've experienced betrayal. What first appears as breakdown becomes the beginning of healing. Because these are things that people don't talk about. Sometimes we ignore. They focus so much on work, business, because that's what we've been focusing on right now. But this is also a disruption. That emotional exhaustion, that betrayal or burnout could be a disruption. What is it disrupting? A root cause that may be happening, maybe trauma, that it wants you to heal so that you can get into alignment, so that you can obtain emotional maturity. And before you know it, you are awakened to a new you who is going to create solutions to so many different problems. So don't forget that when you are looking at disruption as a topic today, apply it physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, or relationally. Apply it in all areas of your life. Whatever you are experiencing emotionally, let it help you to understand that it may have come as a disruption for a particular root cause that has been happening in your life that could be greatly affecting everything, your business, your ministry, your job, your relationships. So it may have come as emotional exhaustion. It may have come as a betrayal. Maybe it needed you to see that these kind of these influences are not for you. You need to move from here now to there. You are compromising a lot. You need to move from here to there. These kind of relationships are pulling you backward. You're not moving forward. Are you seeing? So some of these emotional instabilities are like signals, triggers. With those betrayers, this one betrays, then another one betrays. Why do you think they are continuously betraying you? Maybe your body is also telling you, come and betray her. Then she will start paying attention to me because she's not paying attention to me. And this thing is killing this that she's working on here. So don't ignore the emotional stability part. Okay? You could be worried about the future and you have no idea what will happen because even the past wasn't your plan. From then, you learn to focus, to be grateful for the present and pray to God. Okay? That is true. That is true. Yeah, even when we plan, we also have to. We don't think about so much about tomorrow. Most of the times, tomorrow will take care of itself. When it comes to tomorrow, it's not that we're saying don't save, don't invest, don't do what. No, but sometimes, especially when it comes to things that you are out of your control, don't. You can sleep over it in the morning. The solution could come and you realize that you are fasting. She's right. Okay. So let me give you the how to steps quickly. Now that you have clearly understood where the disruption is, it could be an emotional disruption, and I've told you what it could be leading to. It could be a physical disruption, it could be a mental disruption, it could be a relational disruption, it could be anything. Okay. So look at the disruptions as triggers, as indicators for you to pay attention to areas in your life that require your attention, improvement, you know, doing something about your life. Okay? So the question now is how do we navigate an awakening season? Because these disruptions are awakening in you strengths, abilities, you know? How do we navigate this awakening season? First, stop interpreting every disruption as punishment. Stop interpreting every disruption as a punishment. Not every disruption means failure. Some disruptions are invitations into transformation. Like I've given you an example, the emotional instability disruption of betrayal. It could be signaling to you something in you that you need to deal with so that your identity can be aligned and so that you can partake of opportunities that are being hindered because of that which is within you. Could it be announcing? So don't interrupt every disruption. Don't interpret every disruption as a punishment. Okay? Juliet used to have a lot of friends and God decided to take them away from you. But for sure, you felt bad at first, but later you realized that those friends of yours were draining your business. Good, you see? And that's it. Don't interpret that disruption as punishment. Good, you even mentioned that. Thank you very much. The second step of navigating this awakening season of yours, identify what has been sustaining the old you. What is that has been sustaining the old you? Ask yourself, what have I depended on emotionally? What has shaped my identity? What can I no longer rely on? You need to identify what has been sustaining the old you. The moment you identify what is sustaining the old you, you'll be able to write it down very clearly and now do the how to steps of getting rid of it. Because you don't want to go with the old you. If it is fear, what is it? Where is it coming from? And when God gives you an opportunity, an encounter, He could be working on that. Okay? He could be working on that. You may have overcome it internally, but you may not have overcome it externally with other people or other environments. So He gives you an encounter externally. So receive it. Don't interpret it as a punishment or something is happening. No. Now you need to change your mindset. Okay, so it was teaching me this. Okay, because whatever is happening to you is not for you. You are building purpose and you're going to use these same encounters, experiences, lessons for your purpose. So identify what's sustaining the old you and do away with it. Okay? Whatever has shaped your identity, what you can no longer rely on, what you have been depending on emotionally, start removing, removing, removing. 3, pay attention to what is awakening within you. Pay attention to what is awakening within you. I think I'm going to start making the presentations and sharing the screen so that you can what? You can just make reference to it. You see, now I'm also thinking of ways of improving my work. Okay? Okay. How you navigate an awakening season. Step 1, because I'm not seeing Casey here. Step 1 is stop interpreting every disruption. That is, people pleasing is your distraction. You lost a lot due to pleasing people. You don't fear to lose people who aren't aligning with you. That is very good. That is a very huge improvement. You've identified what has been sustaining the old you, and you have done away with it. Thank you very much, Juliet, for sharing that. Thank you very much for sharing that. And that is step 2. Then step 3, pay attention to what is awakening within you. Pay attention to what is awakening within you. You see, that pressure is revealing hidden strengths, is revealing emotional patterns, it's revealing leadership capacity, it's revealing a spiritual hunger. Could it be that you need to find out spiritually what is missing? It could be revealing resilience in you that you had not realized you had, and it is going to help you a lot. It could be revealing purpose. Okay? So pay attention to what is awakening within you. Are we still there, guys? 4, build internal stability. I take it that you're reflecting. Mia, Grace, you're reflecting. Brenda. Build internal stability. You see, these external structures can shift anytime. That job can go anytime. That business can. So when you build that internal stability, when anything comes and shakes, you will not be shaken. You will switch very quickly. You'll think proactively. Okay, what do I do next? This has happened. The shaking has happened. That's how you overcome fear. Sometimes God can allow it to happen so that you can overcome this challenge. So you need to build internal capacity. You see, Abraham's faith was okay. Thank you, Brenda. Abraham's faith was tested. How? Carry your go, go, go. Take. So where is the sacrifice? That would be obvious. Put baby on the thing. Eh? Put baby on the thing. Ah, but God. Okay. Baby. Ah, ready for fire. As Abraham is doing this, the angel stops him. So you see, if he had not built stability internally, he wouldn't put that baby there. You give me one child. Now you want me to put him on the. Mm-mm. This one I have refused. Would you be calling him father of nations? What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you ready to decrease completely that he may increase? When he tells you, walk away, God can stretch you. One day I'll give you a testimony on that one because at every level, God will test you. But why don't I give it to you so that I can encourage you? I think I've told this to you so many times. God told me, walk away. The businesses, walk away. But they were choking me at that particular point. My identity was so misaligned. He said, walk away. I said, he walk away. To where? Walk away. I walk away. No problem. 5 years, I'm in the process and everything. Then he tells me now, get out of that land, go to another land. But God, I am married. I said, go. Can you put Isaac on the altar and light the fire? God will test you. Who do you love most? Him or what he gave you? If you cannot afford to sacrifice what you love the most, when God gives you an instruction, you cannot build internal stability. If external structures can shift at any time, do you have the emotional discipline? Do you have a spiritual grounding? Do you have clarity of who you are? Can you articulate what is going on? Do you have that wisdom? Is your identity aligned? Why is God taking you through all this? Build internal stability. Yeah, it's built over time. Thank you. So, step 5, allow the old version of you to end. Allow the old version of you to end. God is preparing the best version of you, Ajah. That's good. Because transformation becomes very difficult when you try to preserve identities that no longer fit your next assignment. As long as you're trying to preserve identities that no longer fit your next assignment, transformation is going to be very hard. And sometimes God will give you a very, very, very trying test. Even you will say, you forgot to. You know, you'll give all the reasons. I have this number of children. I have to. You think I don't know. By the time I'm giving you this, you think I don't know. But there's something in you that I'm going to take out of you. There's something in you that I want to develop in you. That environment, grace is for a purpose. You see? You even started seeing for yourself patience, tolerance. You didn't know you had that in you. What is it for? You wait, you'll see. You say, oh my God, I'm glad I tolerated that environment. Because there's a you that needs to be mirrored to you. You need to see yourself in the mirror. The mirror, I'm not saying a physical mirror. I'm talking about God putting you in a place where there are depressed people because you suffer with depression. Then you see, but God, I'm suffering with this thing now. You brought me to an environment. Yeah, because now you're the one who is going to help them overcome. The moment you help them overcome, you overcome. Then you move to next. You asked me, you put it on the list in the beginning of the classes, not so, yes, I did. Now I've brought you to the solution. The solution may not be what you want. Unfortunately, I'm not going to give you a touch. Depression has gone. No, go there. Where there are very many depressed people. Help them out of it. That, because you're a steward, because you're a visionary, because you're a leader, that strand is in you. He will take you through that kind of experience because he wants you to develop capacity so that you can use the lesson, the structures, the system that you've developed in that particular area where you're headed, in that position where he's taking you. So I want to conclude. Okay? Grace. Okay. That is signaling something to me I like. Okay? That is your excuse, eh? Hajar, eh? Okay, let me conclude, guys. I want to finish before 2 hours. You see, the widow's crisis, I'm going back to the widow, was not only about loss. No, it was about an awakening. An awakening was emerging. Sometimes these disruptions we experience that we fear are actually the beginning of becoming. They are the beginning of becoming. There is a version of you that comfort could never produce. There is strength that only pressure can reveal. There is capacity that only awakening can uncover. Three things. There's a version of you, let me give this to you, that comfort could never produce. So you see, you have to get rid of that version. Okay? Then there is strength that only pressure could reveal. Only pressure can reveal that strength. You thought it was a weakness, it was a challenge, but only pressure could reveal it. Then there's capacity only awakening could uncover. If the woman did not lose her husband, she would not, she didn't even know she could collect those resources. How did she collect those resources? That was also capacity. How could she use her two sons? She was a leader. She could train them. Let's go. She could inspire them. Let's go. She could have told them and they said, no, going where? So are you seeing the skills, the abilities that were being revealed that she didn't know she had? But it had to take that disruption. Brenda, sorry. uh, Hajar is saying you are teaching your coworker to have financial discipline and self-love. Good. If you lack it, you teach it, you realize that those, if you start seeing her applying those things and they're working, yeah, they become your what? Your solution. Because you have applied. You know, sometimes you're trying and erroring or you've done research and you're not sure, but you're doing it anyway. You're not just sitting waiting for somebody to teach you. No, you are applying it. You are learning, you apply. You learn, you apply. You learn, you apply. If all of you come to this class with that mindset, learn, apply. By the time we finish 3 months, we have to meet. So there's one testimony that I have learned from you, Miss Jacinta. Okay, yes, Brenda. You act immediately. I remember when you started on TikTok, you thought even when there was one person, that courage struck me a lot. Oh, thank you very much, Brenda. I am humbled by that. I'm humbled. Even when we're locked out, we're actually locked out of TikTok. Like we tried to log in live, but not that we're locked out. I don't know what exactly happened. So that time when we tried and it failed, we all just said, I think we're Mia, Grace, and Kezzy. We just said, and Juliet, yeah. We said, guys, let's just go to YouTube. Mia said, why don't we just go to YouTube? Like, okay, let's just, in that same time, few minutes, we went to YouTube. So it also has something to do with the people that you're working with. You need that support. Sometimes you may not have it, like you said, one person, but sometimes you need you need inspiration. Must have a vision. When God was sending me out, He didn't tell me that you're going to find Brenna, you're going to find me, I didn't know. But I said, okay, let me sit and do what He's asking me to do. Mine is to obey. And that's what I want you to also learn. You're not doing it for the audience or the applause of people. You're doing it for God, and He will increase you. The woman with the oil, He increased her when she was locked up in the room with her two sons. What came out of her, we don't know. But something came out so good. But thank you very much for that recognition. I'm not going to take it for granted because it's feedback for me as well. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. So, action. Take time today. Identify one disruption, transition, or uncomfortable change that you are currently experiencing. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this awakening in me? And that ends my class. That ends my class. Just identify one disruption like this, one transition. It could be a disruption, it could be a transition, it could be an uncomfortable change that you are currently experiencing. Now, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this awakening in me? Sometimes opportunity comes and you take it for granted. I'll say exactly what I had from the fellowship yesterday. The fellowship is the church that we go to here in Dubai. And they were talking about Peter. The pastor was preaching about Peter, how he came out of prison. And when we went to the house where they were praying from, remember they were praying for him. When Rhoda came to the window, I think maybe this thing or something he opened. Huh? Peter? Huh? She closed the door. She went and told the people, guys, Peter is on the door. Like, what's wrong with you now? We are praying for Peter. Peter is in prison. We are praying for Peter. You're saying Peter is on the door. What's wrong with you? Didn't she run away from the answer? Don't we run away from the answer is right in your face. The opportunity has come and it has been speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking. Meanwhile, it has a window. God may have answered you already 2 Januaries, but you're looking for everything else. Those 2 Januaries could be the door or the key that you need to first turn like this. Then you enter those other doors. Don't say you're a slow learner. Don't say that again. Okay? Don't say that again, Casey. My dear darling, please don't do that again. You're not a slow learner. Remember, guys, watch what you say, okay? No, I said take time today and identify just one disruption or a transition or an uncomfortable change, okay? That you are currently experiencing. Now, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this awakening within me? If you can answer that, then tomorrow come to class ready for another session. And tomorrow, come with the answers to this question. We are not starting without the answers. Come ready to present. I told you now we're going to start. I give you 10 minutes, you give me. You're not presenting like me. You are just writing. But Grace, let's pray for that opportunity for us to be able to have these sessions also physically sometimes when we can. Okay? But please come ready with the answers tomorrow. Don't come here without the answers. Okay? But you come. I'm not saying don't come. I'm just saying don't come without the answers. So, guys, why don't we say goodbye, good night, good day. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and take dominion in your area of leadership, wherever you are allotted. Okay? So, I would like to say goodbye. Unless anybody has anything to say, I'll borrow Kezi's words. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to end the stream. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being patient and staying till the end. I really do appreciate this. Have a very beautiful day. You're welcome, Brenda. You're going to rewatch and understand it very well. That's nice. Thank you. You can also share with anybody who wants to join our transformation, because our transformation is live. We are not charging, it's free. Yeah. Okay, guys. Bye bye. Love you.